Watching Fox and Friends First on this Wednesday morning. I'm Heather Childers. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. Big story. Everybody's talking about the mastermind behind that nationwide college admissions scandal that broke yesterday. Well, he's pleading guilty to accepting millions in bribes from parents trying to get their kids into elite schools. Now, two of those people in hot water this morning, actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin. Todd Pyro joins us with the latest developments. Good morning, Todd. They're not the only parents involved in this, right?
Wow. I mean, that's all you can say, Heather. You are right. Operation Varsity Blues, all anyone in the nation's talking about. Big-time schools targeted: Georgetown, Yale, Stanford, University of Texas, USC, UCLA, the FBI, describing it as a sham that strikes at the core of the college admissions process. The biggest name so far, like you said, actress Felicity Huffman, she of Desperate Housewives fame. Prosecutors allege Huffman met with a confidential witness who said he could control an SAT testing center and arrange for someone to proctor her daughter's test and correct it. And actress Lori Loughlin, check out this somewhat unfortunate clip now, talking about her daughter going to college.
I think I'm in complete denial.
Yeah?
I really am, because when I think about it too much, it will make me cry.
Really?
So I got to stop.
The memes are flowing on that one. The Full House star and her husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, accused of paying $500,000 in bribes for their daughters to be crew recruits at USC, even though they had never rowed before. Total of 50 people, including 9 coaches and 1 high-ranking athletics administrator, indicted. The man at the center, William Singer, pleading guilty in federal court, charged with taking $25 million, using some to bribe coaches and testing officials, and pocketing the rest.
Make no mistake, this is not a case where parents were acting in the best interests of their children. This is a case where they flaunted their wealth, sparing no expense, to cheat the system so they could set their children up for success with the best education money could buy, literally.
Huffman appeared in a federal court in L.A. on Tuesday, was released on $250,000 bond. Loughlin expected to turn herself in today, according to most reports. The Fed saying, Heather, listen to this, the investigation continues and more people could be charged.
Yeah, this is just crazy when you listen to those details. You know, getting in, you play a sport, which you didn't really play. Right. You know, who knew what? All right, thank you so much, Todd.
No problem.
Well, fans shocked and disappointed to see celebrities like Loughlin and Huffman wrapped up in this scheme. But here's the question. Are they the first? Notre Dame professor Patrick Deneen says they're just the first to get caught because the admission system is rigged to help the rich.
The admissions process has always had features to it that invite gaming, I think we could call it. The lion's share, which is entirely legal, but it involves assisting your children in taking the standardized tests and enrolling them in enrichment camps and all kinds of service opportunities that end up padding resumes. And for some parents, moving into school districts where your public school education is going to get you certain advantages. So we have had a system that has invited this kind of gaming, and I think what we saw today is really just the logical extension of this into illegality. But let's face it, this is simply a manifestation of what's already been the case. The wealthy and the powerful are able to game the system and ensure that their children have advantages that most Americans' children do not have.
Well, Lori Loughlin's daughter, Olivia Jade, is also apologizing this morning for a video that she posted to her 2 million YouTube followers, saying she didn't even want to go to college. She and her older sister both attend USC. So lots more to come on this story. And also more to come on this today. Paul Manafort set to be sentenced in D.C. in his second criminal case. President Trump's former campaign chairman is facing up to a decade behind bars on conspiracy charges. He, of course, pleaded guilty to those charges last year as part of a deal with special counsel Robert Mueller. Prosecutors later said that Manafort breached that deal by lying to investigators. And then last week, Manafort was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for tax and bank fraud. Nothing to do with Russia collusion, though. And former FBI lawyer Lisa Page says the Justice Department told agents not to charge Hillary Clinton. In some newly released transcripts from her closed-door testimony, Page said that the agency, including James Comey, thought that Clinton might have committed, quote, gross negligence. But she said, quote, the Justice Department's assessment was that it was both constitutionally vague. They did not actually feel that they could permissibly bring that charge. The Attorney General at the time, Loretta Lynch, previously said that she would accept the FBI's recommendation after meeting on the tarmac with Bill Clinton. Well, Boeing 737 MAX 8 planes are still flying in the U.S. despite bans from more than 30 airlines worldwide. Well, that type of plane, of course, crashed in Ethiopia over the weekend, killing 157 people, including 8 Americans. And this was the second deadly crash involving a 737 MAX 8 in months. A growing number of U.S. lawmakers are calling for federal regulators to take action. But the FAA is doubling down against a ban, saying this, quote, our review shows no systematic performance issues and provides no basis to order grounding the aircraft. Well, the European Union, China, and a range of other nations and airlines have shut down use of those jets as a precaution. A Boeing CEO assures the jetliners are safe, but pilots have reportedly been voicing some safety concerns of their own for months. And we will have much more on this with an expert coming up, so stay tuned. Now, the battle over President Trump's national emergency declaration coming to a head on Capitol Hill as a vote to end the national emergency is scheduled. And Democrats are demanding some answers on how the president's plan to pay for a wall impacts the military. Griff Jenkins is live for us in Washington with the very latest. Good morning, Griff.
Good morning, Heather. Yeah, the clock is ticking on that vote, and Democrats, being led by Minority Whip Dick Durbin, are demanding Acting Defense Secretary Shanahan provide a list of the military projects it intends to defund to pay for the wall.
We think the Pentagon has to come clean with the winners and losers in this process. We estimate that the Pentagon will be forced to delay 20%, 1 out of 5, of the military construction projects in order to generate the $3.6 billion the president is asking for.
But as Vice President Pence took to the Hill to allay GOP senators' concerns, Armed Services Committee Chairman Jim Inhofe appeared confident.
There's a gray area where some money could be used and then replenished before the construction would begin. That'd be fine with me if it works out that way.
And while most Republicans are for a wall, enough of them are still against a national emergency declaration. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell acknowledging the senators have a lot to work through.
There's a lot of discomfort with the law. Not that the president doesn't have the authority to do what he is doing, but rather is this grant of authority to any president, not just this one, any president, was it too broad?
One senator, Mike Lee, opposed to the president's declaration's powers, is offering an alternative proposal to limit that power, saying it was Congress's fault for giving away the power in the first place in 1976. He writes, quote, if we don't want our president acting like a king, we need to start taking back the legislative powers that allow him to do so. That vote would likely be after Congress returns from a recess, and it's unclear whether support for Lee's proposal would change the outcome of tomorrow's vote that is expected to block the president's declaration. Heather?
All right, so all eyes on tomorrow. Thank you so much, Griff. Great to have you with us.